The Xiegu Xiegu Zorro, whatever the heck you want to call this G90 radio. A great radio, a fan favorite, one that I have used to make contacts all over the world with. It's a great radio, but boy, does this thing get hot. I did one activation in my car in the Michigan winter with this, only for about a half an hour, and when I was done, this thing was so incredibly hot, it was very painful. Literal pain. Almost burned myself picking this thing up. So Radioddity was kind enough to send me the G90 H1 cooling fan stand for this. And I want to take a look at it. We're gonna install it on here. I wanna do some tests, see how hot we can get this radio without the fan. I'm just gonna key up CW into a dummy load and just cook this thing. And then we'll let it cool down. We'll throw the stand on and do the test again and see what the difference is and how well it actually performs. I'll leave an affiliate link in the bottom for the Radioddity H1 stand, and there will also be a coupon code for $15 off any qualifying purchases at Radioddity over $65. Without any further ado, let's dive in, let's hook the thing up and start warming up our radio and do some testing. Now let's take a look at what we got. Open her up. First we get some instruction manual. This thing's pretty self-explanatory, but here is the stand itself. Now I do want to mention this is an updated version. The old version did not have anything on the bottom of this that left the fan exposed, and those that would grab it, this is how it's oriented, so the radio would be sitting like this. When you grab it from underneath, you got bit very harshly from this fan. So they have added some safety protection on that, and that is good. So there's that, and this has really cool. You can either power this with the cable that came with the G90 or my favorite thing in the world, power poles. So that's how I will be powering the G90, and then this is going to plug into the back of the radio to power it. You've also got some kind of arms that are going to go over, where the heck does this go? They're going to clamp onto the radio like such and kind of hold it in place. And then you get a little bag of hardware and an Allen key. Now, as far as installation, there are just two things we need to do. We just need to screw both of these arms onto the unit itself with these supplied screws. It does come with an Allen key as well, but I am going to use my own Allen wrench here. So very, very simple. We just install these guys. Doesn't matter which side you install them on, because all that's going to happen is this is just going to bring this clamp over and allow you to buckle it, basically. And that's that. To install this, very, very simple. We're going to take our G90. We're going to loosen the ground lug on the back a little bit, because that is going to slide into this groove right here, like such. And then we're going to clamp the ground lug back down to tighten it, and that's going to be 1 point of contact to secure it. And then the next step, we simply need to clasp these together, and this is just a little spring-loaded jobby here. Clamp it down, and that is it. That is rock solid. That ain't going anywhere. Then you can take your power plug, plug it in there. So now you have power to the radio, and then you can choose either the, I forget what this connector is called, but that your standard, the cord that came with your G90, you can plug that in to power it, or use your power pole. So that's awesome. And no biting from when you pick it up. We get a nice active cooling fan underneath, lots of room for air to flow through here, and then we get these retractable feet to give us a good viewing angle. So very nice. This thing is very nice, thick, solid metal. You know, you don't have to worry about being gentle with it. I mean, this feels like something that's definitely K&MRD proof. I am not gentle on things. I mean, it's nice, thick. That's probably 1/8 of an inch steel, I would guess it's made of, or aluminum. I'm not sure what metal it is, but it feels heavier than aluminum. So I don't know for sure, but it is rock solid. I like that. The feet are a little wobbly, but the overall construction of this is freaking solid. Now I want to point something out here. This is where the radio would sit on top of this. This metal part right here, this is actually a sensor that's going to detect when the radio is getting hot. So the radio is going to sit on it like this, and basically that sensor sits right on the heatsink, or probably right here actually. So that might be the hottest part of the radio, I'm not sure. But that's where it's going to know how hot the radio is getting. So this fan is going to increase in speed as the radio heats up. So it's not just like a constantly one speed thing. It is always going to be on though. So it's going to draw a little bit of current, not much, but that's nice that it will have a variable speed depending on how hot the radio gets. And do be careful of the fan. And just for my own curiosity, I'm going to turn this on. I've got this plugged into my PowerWorks inline watt meter, and we're going to see how much current this thing draws. See the fan turned on immediately, so it is always on. I can feel some airflow, and we're pulling just 1/10 of an amp, so very, very low current that this thing is going to draw. I suspect probably a little bit higher as the fan gets going a little bit faster, but very, very negligible amount of power. So this isn't really going to impede on your power usage with, say you're on battery power or something like that. Now for temperature testing, I'm going to use this lead for my multimeter, and I think I'm just going to put it inside the heatsink here where it's going to be closest to that sensor. I'll install it on the fan. I'm going to keep the fan off, and I'm just going to key up CW into a dummy load and get this thing as hot as I can. We'll take a reading, then we'll turn on the fan and we'll see how much it cools it down. I think that's probably the best way to illustrate what we'll get as far as results from this fan. So here's how we're going to be setting this up. This will monitor the temperature. I've got the key in here. Nothing is plugged in to the G90 from the fan. We are going directly from my power source to the G90 without the fan on. It is not spinning. Power is on. See, we've got power to the radio. The fan is not spinning. I am going to put this in CW. We're going to lay down the law. See how hot it gets. So right now we are at 82.4 degrees. And I'm going to lay down on the key, probably about 30-second intervals, see how hot we can get this, then we'll kick on the fan. I am transmitting at 20 watts. Should be like you're running FT8 basically. Oh, she's starting to warm up. 109. And this is inside with no sun blasting on it. This thing gets stupid hot outside. All right, we broke 110. Oh yeah, the whole body is definitely getting warm now. See if we can get this up to like 115, and then I'll kick the fan on. All right, so let's pop this off real quick. Do our little switcheroo. Now the fan should be on. Oh yeah, you can hear it. Listen to that. So already we can see temperature going down quite a bit. But I want to keep keying up. So we went down 15 degrees in a matter of seconds. Key down, let's see if it goes down anymore. Unkey, that'll probably start going down quick. You can hear the fan really working. Does slow down a little bit when you're keying up here, but it's struggling to get above that 99 degree mark. Still cooling down as I'm keying. Yeah, still going down. Oh, there it's going back up now. But it's doing a great job of not letting it get any hotter. Actually, let's give 15-second key up, just like FT8. And then we'll let it cool for 15 seconds. Because that's the longest you're going to be keyed down on this thing, really. And unkey. So it cooled down about half a degree in that 15 seconds. Now it's really going. The radio body is getting cooler. It's still warm, but I mean, you can feel air circulating around this whole thing. Let's key up again. See if it gets any hotter. A little bit. Not much though. There's about a 20-degree swing there between without the fan and with the fan. So yeah, I'd say it's doing its job. Absolutely. Absolutely. I like a lot. Let's see what it cools it down to if we're just sitting here. Because it's still kind of going full throttle. It was what, 82 degrees when we started? Let's see if it goes below 82. I wonder how much current we're drawing. We should test that. The G90 draws about a 1/2 amp on receive. Something like that. And we saw like 1/10 amp at the beginning of this test with just the fan running kind of lightly. So what are we getting now? Not much. 0.69 amps we're seeing at the top of the scale. Full bore key down, we're 4.98 amps. So not drawing a lot of current. This is very efficient. And this thing is whizzing. Definitely doing its job. Case is still a bit warm, but there's not much cooling going on down there. On the sides, it's all on the bottom where probably the important bits are. I don't know where the finals are on this radio, but hopefully that's what it's cooling the most. Down to 93 degrees. One thing I do want to note though, this thing is not the quietest fan I've ever heard or not heard. It's pretty loud. Not loud enough to really impede your ability to play radio, but it definitely lets you know it's there. You can hear this across the room, so that is something to keep in mind, but definitely like the cooling feature of the fan, so it's doing its job. Now I've left this kind of just sitting. The radio's been cooling off for about 5, 6, 7 minutes now, and it's kind of settled around 87 degrees, somewhere in that ballpark, which is only 5 degrees warmer than when we turned this on. So the fan's still turning a little higher than it was just at idle when we tested, but it appears that that is about as low as it's going to go. I could keep going on forever, I suppose, and see how it really goes, but that's beyond the scope of this test. We really wanted to see its cooling efficiency under a heavy load, and well, the proof is in the pudding there. We were easily 20 degrees warmer with the fan on than without, so numbers don't lie. So that's that. That was a pretty fun experiment, if I do say so myself. I really got a lot of comments on the G90 heat when I made my Go box, and ever since then, while I don't particularly care that it gets that hot because I've abused it so much and I've gotten it so hot and it hasn't failed on me, that's a good testament to really the quality of the G90, but I know a lot of folks are really concerned about it overheating, and well, the proof is in the pudding. That fan definitely works, but you're getting 2 birds stoned at once. You got the nice kickstand for it, so you get a nice viewing angle, and you get the cooling fan that hardly draws any extra current at all. So that's really a nice benefit there. So very, very good quality build. $69.99, $15 off at Radioddity with the referral link. Go check it out, guys. That's all I got. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it. We'll see you again on another episode of K&M Radio Stuff. 73, guys.